Well, hey, Tim, how's it going?
Hey, Chad, doing good. I hope everybody out there in the Hog Call Nation is doing well as well. We're excited to be on tonight. We've got a great show for you, packed with football, basketball, hockey. How are you tonight, Chad?
Hey, I'm doing very good. I'm just glad I'm going to be able to get on here, talk a little bit of Razorback, football and Razorback basketball. I mean, it's a good time to be a Hog fan. It really is. Some of us are out there, putting out content, doing different things. I just got to say, we try to talk to everybody that talks to us, whether it be through social media or whatnot. And, the guys on Reddit, some of them said, hey, why did you guys, not have good lighting? Why didn't y'all correct that? And I just got to say, hopefully we got most of that stuff corrected for you guys. Alexa, Razorback. Alexa, turn Office to Razorback. Alexa, go Hogs. Alexa, Razorback. It just won't do it. Alexa, Razorback. Alexa, turn white. Man, that Alexa's being a finicky little bitch tonight. I'll tell you what. But that's why. That's why we don't do it, because we record in a Razorback room using Razorback Red as the lighting. So that is the reason that you see the lighting that you see. Appreciate the feedback. But at the same time, we would hope that when you see Razorback Red, that you're kind of excited about that and you want to be part of that.
Well, I don't even think it's that dark. I think the comment, sorry, I know you just said it, but something about being dark, it's not really dark. Turn your brightness on. Turn your brightness on your computer on, your phone on, or your TV if you're watching on an app on a TV. That's my suggestion. I mean, if I had that, I need that too. I need to set my recording studio up that way as well, because I'm jealous, and it is definitely red. Not because you're developing photos. That's pretty obvious with the Razorback. The picture in the background, the huge canvas you have sitting on that wall back there, that it is for the Razorbacks.
And then there was another comment on Reddit. They said, oh, I'm surprised, all these guys do, they just promote the podcast. They don't come to Reddit and say like anything else, like a part of the conversation. Yeah, we just give you like an hour and a half worth of free content out of the goodness of our own heart every single week. And we appreciate you commenting on the threads. We saw that, and we just wanted to let you know. Woo pig suey.
Go Hogs. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you listening or watching. Whatever medium you prefer. We just don't have time to post on everything. You know what I mean? To post every headline. I'm happy you are. We need that. Razorback fans are passionate. But this is why we would choose to do the podcast. It's our creative medium that we choose. And we put it out there because there's not a whole lot of podcasts. Podcasts, we've talked about a bunch. There's podcasts that come and go. But there's only really one Razorback fan podcast. And one special that's been consistent. And one wrong. You know what I mean? As Houston Net said, man, there's a lot of Lions, Tigers, and Bears, but there's only one Razorback.
And also, I just got to say that they did say they loved the content. They thought it was excellent content, and we do appreciate that. We do try hard to bring you good content every week. So I think, we can move past that. We've addressed all the fans that have reached out to us this week. And goodness gracious, what a week of sports we've had. We had 2 great wins in basketball. We had a really good game in football that we played close. That we were within 7 points. There was a chance for us to win that game, and it felt like throughout the whole game, like we had an opportunity to be able to win at some point, and we didn't, and that's fine. But at least we went out there and we played Bama hard. We didn't get blown out. I know everybody says, "Oh, I'm not into moral victories and this, that, and other." And yeah, I hear you, man. I'm not into moral victories either. That's not my thing. I want to beat Bama, but at the same time, look at where we're at. Look at where we were at last year. Look at where we were at the year before that. Look at where we were at the year before that. And now we're to a point to where if you have a close loss to Bama, it's not a moral victory. You can see it's a step in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I say that's the moral victory thing. Is I'm not in the moral victory. Yeah, it's easy. I agree, but like you're saying, it's a step in the right direction when you look at what the program has been the last couple of years. It's not like we're a top 5 team, top 10 program consistently for the last 10 years. And we went to Bama and only lost by 7 and had a chance in the fourth quarter. It's a team with a program. We'd like to win, but but I didn't wake up the next morning with as much hog pression as even I did against Georgia when we got beat 30 something to nothing. Didn't even look like we belonged on the field. We looked like we belonged on the field with Bama, and that's I think what the main takeaway is. Where do we sit now in the SEC? We could besides Georgia and Bama, we can beat anybody in the SEC, and that's a pretty big deal. We've proven that, obviously. We were Ole Miss, the third team in the SEC, and we were 1 point shy of them on the road. We beat A&M, who's another top one. So it's what that proves is we belong, and this is with on the road. Alabama already has a 1 loss on the season. They're fired up to play. They're not overlooking us. So this is it. They cannot lose again because they have Georgia in the SEC championship and still make the playoffs. So I understand. It's not. I wasn't hooping and hollering and be like, I'm so happy. Everything's coming up. Roses and daisies today. But I'm also can take it as a Razorback fan. It's like, what? God, that was a lot better than losing 52-0.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And you play that game and you look and it just felt like we had a gunslinger out there just slinging it all over the field. And did you look at the passing yards after the game? 112 passing yards to our 110. It really wasn't, wasn't like blowing us out. So I was surprised by that. I really was. And then you look at our rushing yards, and we're putting up, 358 rushing yards to their 559. It's like, holy moly, goodness gracious. And that didn't even feel like that was the difference in the game. Right? It didn't feel like when I'm watching that game, it felt like the passing was the big difference in the game, and those long bombs and stuff that we were getting hit on.
Yeah, we kept getting hit. Bryce Young for them, 559 yards, 5 touchdowns. Just ridiculous from their quarterback. And he was burning us. We were obviously missing Carolina starting safety earlier in the year, but it wasn't that a lack of effort. You're still seeing our guys just not as good as them. And then, of course, you got on our side, KJ just delivering the ball just over and over.
Doing well. Playing well, making good decisions, not throwing interceptions, not fumbling the ball, making good decisions, doing what he's supposed to do as a quarterback. Receivers were doing well, and I think the big thing we saw that, was their wide receivers getting over the top of us and their speed that was really hurting us. And that's where you could really tell like there was a difference between us is it was within the speed area, and we're moving down the field, and we're doing what we need to do, and then hey, let's throw a screen, let's throw a pass, and it's like why we're running the ball, we're doing well, why are we throwing a screen, why are we throwing a bubble?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand.
What do we
didn't work it didn't work last week. We had talked about it. They've seen it all week. It's like, that's not going to work against LSU. That stuff is not going to work against Bama. And I did like that we come out the first drive. Okay, we get only 1 first down. We had to punt, but this just kind of set the precedent that we're not scared to run on them because we ran 6 straight plays. Just came out there not trying. Okay, we're not. And I will say I think the first quarter kind of bit us, and we still had them to 3 points in that. The defense was coming up in that first quarter to keep us in while the offense was trying to figure out how to score. Because after the first quarter, we kept scoring it seemed like most every drive, and we're matching them for. But it seemed like it was just. I know we had a whole bunch more passing yards than rushing, but it seemed like you were talking about last week, that you want to see us run, and that's what we did.
Yeah, we did. We did. We ran the ball. We did what we were supposed to do. I mean, and that's, that's what you want. I think, it's like when you get in those critical situations and you're in those third downs, and you're throwing a swing pass. And it's like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, their speed. They're just faster. They're going to make it to the edge faster. Why are we trying to get to the edge on them, And other stuff had been working, right? I don't understand why you don't try a Mike screen, Why don't we do a middle screen in this situation, Take that speed, use it against them. Get them all coming at you, throw a middle screen. Well,
Yeah. No, I have to agree, especially with the way Traylon Smith was running, and he still only had 9 carries. But his speed was obviously was a factor and worked against him. Like you're talking about, Mike screen would have been perfect to utilize there. And I will say on the defense, KJ only gets sacked 3 times. We do get to Bryce Young 4 times. Obviously not enough. It seemed like the blitzes, when Odom did blitz, it worked against Young. Like, he was pressured. It seemed like when you talk about passing over the top and beating us with that speed, we saw Bryce Young have all the time in the world, no pressure, and step up in the pocket. He's delivering perfect passes.
Oh, yeah.
But when the times we did Odom call the blitz, a lot of times they worked.
Yeah, when we were blitzing at the beginning of the game, they was working really well. We was putting a lot of pressure on them, and then we kind of fell off of that a little bit. And I think that's because we're probably because we're getting tired, right? Because our defense has stayed out there a lot. We were punting the ball way too much. So now that your defense is tired, you're not as confident about sending that blitz, because that's when you start seeing more errors because you've been out there longer. But at the same time, I agree with the sentiment. Like, if it's working, keep doing it until it stops working, right? And I would like to see a little bit more blitz heavy, in the second half than we were. But at the same time, holy moly, that defense just played such a good game. I mean, the entire game, I was just like, the defense is doing great, and they're doing what they needed to do. They're keeping us in the game and giving us an opportunity to win this game. And even though that we had some big plays on us and that we gave up some yardage and we let them score a little bit more than we would like to have, we did a good job of keeping them at bay and not letting them just come out there and run wild and just take advantage of us defensively and make us look silly. Like, you could tell they were having to play as well as they could to win the game.
Yeah, you saw a lot of times. This is a compliment. You're pissing Saban off. Like, they're not putting in second and third stringers in that fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And that was a really good SEC game. I really wish we would have came out on top, of course. But if you're a third party watching it, you should enjoy that game. It was back and forth, and that was SEC football. I know it was high scoring, but it was still smash mouth. There's a lot of plays in the trenches. I was trying to think of something you said. You're totally right on the blitz and us getting heavy. I mean, you look at them; they only had to punt 1 time, and we had to punt 6 times. So we, again in that first quarter, we just were not figuring out how to drive. And that defense, our defense, was on the field so long.
A lot. They were on that field constantly.
You're very correct about that's a real good reason why we kind of staved off that. Blitzing as much, and
the one-handed catch. The one-handed catch.
Yeah, Burks was just incredible. 8 catches, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously playing banged up and hurt, and just kept coming out there and out running. He stiffs arm for one of his touchdowns. He stiff arms an Alabama defensive back into the ground, outruns him, and then another one he catches the pass on the sideline, turns it up the middle of the field, and you got Alabama guys diving, trying to catch him because he's able to outrun them, and you just don't see that a lot. And wow, what a performance by him!
And how about having to make 2 touchdowns every time? How about that? Like, what the hell's up with that? SEC officiating is horrible. It's horrible. How are we the best conference in the United States and have the worst officials? Is it just because we don't pay them?
Got the money to pay them.
Look, I know a guy that's an official. He works at a high school, full time, flies out, does the officiating on the weekend or whatever, flies back in, works at the school the rest of the time. If your officials have to work at a high school throughout the week, maybe you need to pay them some more money so there's not so many mistakes and they can just like rest up and get ready, watch film. You know,
that makes no sense while they're working another job. The SEC is loaded with money. Like, how are they not, like you're talking about, resting, like making sure they're taking care of themselves so they're able to be in shape for the games and watching film? Okay, in this situation, and really be. I mean, like, there's no excuse for that. Like, just practice. That's awful. Like that Warren Thompson, his catch, that was obvious.
Yeah,
that was obviously a touchdown, and then even worse, the Dominic Johnson's way over there. Clear, they reaches over. Like in there, and then reaches over even more so, a yard into the end zone, and they're like, no.
Yeah, no, it was clear. I mean, that was clear as day. And you got the announcers making fun of you. Like, when the announcers and everything are making fun of you, don't you think you should do something about it? And it's not the first game. This started happening like 3 years ago. You know, definitely last year with the Auburn debacle, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess you could go back even further. You can go back to the Florida debacle and different things like that. But I think the announcers talking about it the way they do now started in the past few years. Because it feels like the announcers have been more on our side as Arkansas fans than I've ever seen before in my history, you know, of Arkansas sports fan. I don't think I would have ever heard them say, you know, Arkansas definitely got that touchdown against Texas. I don't think I would have ever heard that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, especially coming from that CBS crew that's seen so many Bama games and obviously, you know, loves to talk Bama, and they couldn't believe it. And I was really like, okay, it's not just Arkansas fans, you know, talking about it. And, it goes back further to Florida games and games before that. But, last year that Auburn was so bad, and this one, I mean, that's just obvious, and maybe there was some other things, but that was just crazy. Just showed, okay, and you just felt like the SEC's protecting Bama. They don't want them to get a second loss.
Definitely. They definitely want to protect Bama. They want to protect Georgia. They want a Georgia-Bama SEC championship. They know that's going to sell the most tickets. You know, I've been around. I know what's up, and it is the way it is. And if we were undefeated, they might give us a chance, right? But we're not. So they're not, you know, they're going to make sure they do everything they can to make certain they don't lose an unnecessary game. You know, they don't need to lose. And it's sad, but it's true. And you can see it, you know, and it's, for whatever reason, it's Auburn that's protected, Florida that's protected, Alabama that's protected, and those three schools seem to be like protected the most by the SEC officiating crews.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's like, I mean, one thing with Bama, but yeah, Auburn's always. I mean, it's kind of a known that just, you know, they're cheating. they need that cheating.
Mm-hmm. Can you believe Mullen's already fired? Well, it was quick.
That happened quick.
They fired him quick. And I don't know, man. That was kind of did him dirty, bringing him in from Mississippi State and then just firing him that quick. For what? For I think they still got a chance to make a bowl game. Oh, yeah, you made a bowl game. We're letting you go. What the hell is that?
Yeah, what sucks for Mullen is he had a really good team last year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He had some guys at NFL Trask, who's backing up Brady in Tampa. You got Kadarius Toney, who's with the Giants, as receiver. You got Kyle Pitts, who's a first-round draft pick as a tight end with the Falcons, and some other guys. They were really good last year, and in the COVID year, didn't really. I mean, I guess they weren't good enough to win a championship, so I guess they weren't that great. But it seemed like, it seemed quick. I mean, he was a king down at Mississippi State. I mean, he had some of their best years, and obviously, okay, he's a pretty good coach to do that at Mississippi State. And then just a couple years at Florida. That was surprising. I mean, it's happening quicker and quicker. Remember when people made fun of us? we wanted Morris gone after he was,
I can't believe we had to argue with people.
Quick.
Now we had to argue with people.
Go 30-10.
Look, man, in certain situations, I say, yeah, go ahead and fire Mullen. But I think like a bowl game, you make a bowl game this year, you just keep him on and see what happens next year. And if you're mad at him in the middle of the year and he's like doing it again, he's like 5-6 wins again, and you feel like firing him, fine. Whatever, I see that, but
I was surprised.
It just seemed quick. It really did.
The finals, and the week before they beat Samford. They were down at halftime, but they do end up Samford. So if they lose,
they almost got beat by them bad though.
That's one thing. I think that was like if they just would have came out and beat them 50-7. I don't know, but the final straw was losing to the team we're playing this week, Missouri. Like, they just couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle such that ugly game against Missouri and then losing that one. It's more surprising. I don't know. Like, I think is it going to be a thing where they don't make the right hire and make another Ron Zook or Will Muschamp hire, or McElwain? They've made, Spurrier's good, and they made Zook. Didn't work out. Then Meyer worked out. Mm-hmm. Then they do Muschamp, didn't work out. McElwain didn't work out, and now Mullen.
Well, but McElwain was horrible, and I think a lot of people. I think the Florida folks need to understand that McElwain was just damn terrible. His entire tenure, he was terrible, and he's the reason that Florida's in the situation they're in. Yeah. And you got Mullen over there, and you're trying to turn it around and make it better, and he did it with Mississippi State. You know he can do it at Florida. You just no confidence in him at all. Let him go for no reason. It sounds like, I don't know. Then what are they going to do? Who are they going to turn around and hire? Hopefully you don't mess around and get you a Chad Morris. That's all I'm saying. Yep. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side.
Well, you got jobs like LSU and USC, probably Miami soon that's going to be hiring. Mm-hmm. Coaches, let alone some of these Virginia Tech and TCU. There's TCU, and I know Florida's a pretty good job, but like there's a lot of in the coaching search. They better get it right because there's some competition for it.
Well, enough of that, man. Enough of that. I don't know. Fuck Florida. I just wanted to point out that they're being dumbasses and they're firing their coach a little bit too soon. Golly, man.
Man, a hell of a fake, the fake field goal touchdown.
That was
Bauer.
Awesome.
Last week he had the fake touchdown.
Little jump pass. I know.
Fake, yeah.
2 weeks in a row, special teams going above and beyond. They're like, yes, we needed that. It feels good.
And then he also had his best game of his career, obviously throwing the touchdown, the jump pass to Kern. Kern making a one-handed catch. And then also he had a punt to the 1 yard line. Mm-hmm. Just like bounce. It was like, oh, you think it's going to bounce in the end zone? Just bounce perfectly, and we downed it at the 1. So Reed Bauer, what a game. I wish it would have been in a win, but that was we pulled out the stops for that, and because at that point, kind of down, and we really needed that. Mm-hmm. And that just gave us even more confidence for the rest of that game. That hey, we belong. We can win this game.
And then, then on top of that, you wind up with, Reed Bauer, throwing that little jump pass and getting the touchdown and doing everything he needs to do. But you wind up with having, a situation where, you've used up a lot of your trick plays and things like that, but it's the end of the year, so it's a good time to be in that situation where you've used those plays and you're not relying on those, and you're not expecting those trick type plays to like pull you through. And I felt like we used them at the right times throughout the year too, with the right teams. It's not like we were doing trick plays, playing a small school or something like North Texas or something.
It is crazy we missed an opportunity. I think we at least should have 3 or 7 in the first quarter, kind of puts us behind. But that fumble, we got Alabama, they fumbled. You know what I mean? We got it. We did get only at the 1 yard line, we got it our 1 yard line. But man, the defense comes up with a big fumble. 9 minutes left in the game, and then we go 3 yards or three plays, 6 yards, and have to punt right back a minute, and just and then they score a touchdown. That was a missed opportunity that we've got to hit on that to beat teams like Bama. But man, that defense, I know they gave up 42 points, but it felt like they made so many. This isn't the Alabama, the Alabama before Lane Kiffin kind of changed things around for their offense, where they had game managers at quarterbacks. These damn Alabama teams are just 5 stars at every position.
Well, when your quarterback is a Heisman candidate, you know what I mean? And you're just out there slinging it around. You got one of the best running backs. You got a great offensive line, and you got wide receivers that are faster than everybody else on the field. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's why I thought the defense really came to play. Just really.
I thought so. I thought our defense did well. I think we did well against them. I think we showed we could beat them. And with the team we got now, with the team they got now, on another day, we could beat them. Yeah. We could win that game. 2 weeks from now, a week from now, we could win that game if everything fell our way. But it didn't, and we lost, and it is what it is, so you move on to the next one. Here's the thing, man. Do we beat Mizzou, 0-60? Do we go up there and show out? Or does our defense lay down again this year like they did last year? Because it did not feel like our defense played well last year against Mizzou. But the way they played them, it was, I don't know, I said it then, I'm going to say it now, man. It's like Odom didn't want to win that game or something. I don't know. Didn't feel right,
Yeah. How many points do you think we gave up last year, Missouri, in the fourth quarter? What do you think would be a bad fourth quarter point total by Missouri? I didn't remember this till I just looked it up.
At least 10 points would be bad. You would definitely a touchdown and a field goal in the second quarter.
Yeah, because you get that 10 points. That's 40 points in the game, and we lost 50-48. We gave up 27 points in the fourth quarter to Mizzou last year. Mm-hmm. One quarter, we give up 27 points. The rest of it, 10, 3 points. Mm-hmm. Gave up 27 points. I hate to bring that up, but you were bringing it up, and I was trying to look. I was like, you know what?
But it's true. We leave Bama, and that was a great game. We did what we could do. We lost that game. You don't say it was a great game when games you lost very often, but it really was. Then you come over here to play Mizzou, and it's like, okay, well, last year we dropped the ball against Mizzou. And I don't want to drop the ball against them again. No. And I don't know if it's the battle line thing, and we don't take it seriously, and we're joking around about it, ha, he, and it's not a real thing, and they're all fired up about it and take it super seriously. You'd hate it to be a situation like that, but it could be. Because I know I still don't take the battle line championship seriously.
It's not, but they've beat us, 5 years in a row, so maybe we should start. The team should start taking it. I don't, man. I feel like we should be beating Missouri every year.
Yeah. It feels like
we used to do with the Mississippi schools, beat them 9 out of 10 years. This is how I feel we should do against Missouri. It starts this year. It just started last year.
Yeah. Look, when did we, you got Morris that didn't beat them, right? Well, of course he didn't, right? And then you got Belmo first year, dropped the ball there. And, again, it felt like that was a defensive issue, whatever the hell that was. And hopefully our defense is going to want to correct that and show out and show up this year. And then, you had Bellama, lose. It's like, okay, well, these are horrible coaches. No shit they lost, right? But we shouldn't lose to Mizzou 2 times in a row with Sam Pittman as our head coach. Period. It should never happen. We should never, ever lose to Mizzou 2 times in a row with Sam Pittman as the head coach. And I think he's shown that he is by far the best coach that was hired out of that coaching class besides Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to argue Lane Kiffin over at Ole Miss. Man, if we would have got that. Now it feels like, especially if we're playing Bama, it's like, man, should have beat Ole Miss.
Well, I'm not saying
I don't know if we were just dog tired against Auburn, but a really good class. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that he's better. I'm not saying that Lane Kiffin is better than Sam Pittman. I just want to clarify that. Sure. But I do feel like they are like on the same level of like, you know, how they coach as a head coach using that CEO mentality and allowing their assistants to get out there and do what they need to do. They both act in similar ways. So to me, they're both very close to being the same caliber of head coach. You know, both of them have issues with their play calling. Honestly, at this point, Lane Kiffin shouldn't have that many issues with his play calling. Sam Pittman, you know, his game clock management, his play calling, things like that, you understand it because he's second year as head coach, right? Yeah, exactly. You understand it, right? And he's still better than Lane Kiffin, I think, at it. And I think that's because Lane Kiffin is just too wild sometimes. Like, let's go for it on all these fourth downs and just stuff that you shouldn't do at this level of football, this caliber of football, you know?
Yeah, we talked about it last week, kind of comparing that Ole Miss game against Alabama. You know, Ole Miss, first half, they were going for it in their own, like at their own 25, 30-yard line, fourth downs and sevens and stuff. Mm-hmm. Redmond just played it like he should, and guess what happened? You know, we had a chance in the fourth quarter to win, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Kiffin thought he came with the mindset, this is our only chance to win, is if we do all these fourth downs in the first half. Well, yeah, you're down a couple touchdowns, but you weren't down 40, 50. Yeah, you know, you weren't down 40, 50 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and also with Kiffin, I mean, there's a lot of rumor, you know, about him at a few schools, you know, jumping ship after 2 years already, and Pittman's not going to do that.
Yeah, I know that Florida is basically saying they want Bob Stoops or they want Lane Kiffin, and anything else would be unacceptable. I think LSU wants Lane Kiffin, and I can't imagine you not.
Miami does too, man.
Wanting Lane Kiffin. Miami ain't getting him, I don't think. Just the conference they're in, I don't know. He might go. He might love Boca. He might be like, I
think he did love South Florida. Man. He's a big sport fisherman. He always loved South Florida.
So I don't know. Maybe he'll go down there, but I just kind of have a feeling he's gonna wind up at LSU.
I just want him out of the SEC, man. I don't want him to get his offense with talent. You know what I mean? Whether it's just 1 or 2 years out of that 5 or whatever, mm-hmm. that he's like really like a scary offense, and you know the other year's okay. But I don't want him like to go down to LSU.
Would you rather see him over at LSU or over at Florida? So that's probably the two most likely places for him.
I mean, I guess Florida just because he's in the East of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the last 3 coaches at LSU have won a championship. So I figured the next one will, but I really just wish they'd screw it up somehow. I don't know, man. I just don't want them to make a good hire.
I wonder what, like, it'd be funny if Kiffin just says, "No, I'm just staying at Ole Miss. It's good enough for me." Because after this season he's had there already, like, he's set for a while. Even if he doesn't have the best year for the next couple of years, everybody's going to have that, you know, it's Ole Miss, right? So everybody's going to have that thought in their head, like, oh, he's going to have another one of them seasons like he did that first year, except for this time he's going to win them all. You know, everybody's going to be on their edge of the seat for that season.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's losing like Corral. He's losing a good bit of players this year, so the expectations are going to be lower. And he's got Arch, you know, not him, but there's a big chance that Arch Manning goes there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if Arch goes there, he might stay, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's probably his best chance to get that in the. Besides Peyton, everybody went to Ole Miss.
I
He's got
wonder.
a real shot to go there.
I wonder how Arch is doing in the playoffs. None of them ever won a high school championship.
That's a good question.
Yeah, Archie didn't. Eli didn't. None of them. Pate, none of them. So, if he wins a championship in high school, it'll be the first time a Manning has won a high school championship. That would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, they won 37-6 in the quarterfinals. On the road against they're 7-2, and he beat a 9-1 team on the road in the quarterfinals, 37-6. So he's got a shot.
That must be the one where Lane Kiffin showed up to. Lane Kiffin showed up to one of his playoff games, and people in the crowd were yelling to him, "Can I sign your face? Or can you sign my face? Jeez. Lane, will you sign my face?" Like begging him and stuff. All right, Sam Pittman comes down there. He goes to the sideline. Ain't nobody asking them to sign anything or anything. Nick Saban. Nobody wants to say anything to old Nick, right? But this crazy guy goes down there and people want him to sign their face and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Good Lord. And how does that make you feel? Like as a kid, like a teenage kid, like I want to go with the coach that has people trying to get them to sign weird body parts and stuff. Like that sounds like the experience I want to go through as a.
Yeah, that ain't the only face ain't the only body part they're probably. Good for him, man. What a wild life he's probably leading now.
Good Lord. So what do you think? You think Joey Freshwater's going to stay at Ole Miss and nab Arch? You think Arch, Eli, all the Mannings, Lane, they've all talked. They already know. And if they all go down there, so we know this. We know that like they talk to the high school coach and like give them notes and pointers and stuff. So if Arch goes to your team, whether you're Lane Kiffin or not, you think like they're writing you letters and sending you little notes and telling you little things you can do a little bit better.
Oh, got to, right? Don't you think?
How annoying would that be, man?
Oh, man.
Have Archie Manning, Eli Manning, and Peyton Manning, and their older brother Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Writing you little notes and things, telling you what you can do better. I noticed during the game that, your slant route was off just a little bit. Maybe he should break 2 yards deeper down the field.
Oh, yeah. Now, the Peyton probably don't care since he's Tennessee, but I don't know.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Went to Tennessee. Probably so still, though, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. How do you get off all these coaching tangents? It's exciting, man. College football
following the coaches and the coaching tangents and stuff like that is just part of it. Like, it's hard not to talk about because, like, it's a carousel and you want to see where everybody's gonna fall. I don't know. I guess we should jump over to the Mizzou game, but
no, it's exciting. I love it, man. I love it. I'm just glad we got a coach. We don't have to deal with it. All the rumors and picking them out, and one just coming out of nowhere like Sam Pittman, working out though. I don't know. I didn't mean to change it. I'm really not sure what. I want him kind of out of the SEC, man.
Well, that would be nice. I'd like to see him go and Nick Saban go. That'd be wonderful. I think Nick thinks he's got another 5 years left in him, he said.
Yeah, well, guess what? Well, what's going to happen is whenever they switch over to the pods or the new divisions, or if we're not going to be playing Alabama every year, it's going to be when Saban retires. Once he retires, that's when we stop playing them every year.
if they figure out within the next 5 years how to cryogenically like freeze somebody and remove their brain and then place it like into a, container and hook that up to a computer that can talk and print things out and stuff like that and continue to function as a cognitive being without needing all the, heart and lungs and things like that,
Important organs.
Then just like he could just live forever down there coaching on the sidelines.
Jesus, no. Oh, man. Probably. I mean, 2020.
He's got enough money. Good Lord. That's what they keep throwing at him. That's ridiculous how much he gets paid, man. So, it really is. Battle Line Trophy. That's
so
man.
We go from talking about Nick Saban to talking about Eli Drunkwick. What a nerd. What a nerd.
We haven't lost a trophy game all year. We got the boot. We got the
Southwest
Classic.
Yeah.
So now we're going into the next one and hopefully close it out with all the trophies, Win them all. That'd be nice. I think I don't know. I think we got a really good chance to win this. If we lose this game, I'll be very, very disappointed. It would be like, there's no way we should lose this game. Let's just put it that way. We should not lose this game. If we lose this game, something's fucking wrong.
I just don't see how. Look, Missouri. I mean, they're not as bad as like a Vanderbilt. They've SEC games. Of course, that includes Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Florida. But I just don't see. They're just not. We got to turn this thing around. We can't keep losing Missouri. We're at home. I don't feel like we're going to be heartbroken and down where we don't have the confidence to come out here and know we need an 8th win. 7-5 just doesn't sound as good as 8-4.
Mm-mm.
This is a big time to finish out. This just seems like the opportunity is there, and I feel confident. Hell, the spread. Vegas thinks we're going to win 14.5. We're 14.5 point favorites. That's pretty big for a 6-5 and a 7-4 team. That's not much difference. You know what I mean? And that over 2 touchdowns favorites for Arkansas.
I hope we blow them out. I hope KJ gets 4 touchdowns and Burks gets 2. And we get a couple from our running backs also.
Let me if I can just. I thought it was interesting. No, I agree. You said that though. It sparks on what I kind of looked up. So just looking at last year on our offense, the positive part of it, we scored 48. KJ was. This is the thing we kind of were encouraged from last year. You know what? He can do it. You know what I mean? We've got confidence in KJ this year. He was 234 yards, 3 touchdowns in this game last year, no interceptions. Traylon Smith, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ran all over him, and that's no Dominic Johnson, no Rocket, no AJ Green running. And then also you talked about Burks. Burks, 10 catches, 206 yards, and a touchdown. So these guys that you're mentioning, bingo, have already proven that they can. And there's no reason. I've made the joke, and I know we're not going to do it, but I feel like we could run every play. I feel like we could run 75 times on Friday, no passes, and win. Missouri. I feel like our run game's that strong, and Missouri's defense is that susceptible that we could just run all over them. I feel like it's going to be a big day for our offense.
Oh yeah, and we coming in with the second best, third down defense in the nation, which is good. Coming in with Bumper Pool, who's leading, the team in tackles, and what a great job he's been doing, right? Morgan doing an awesome job this year. We got a lot of defensive guys that are out there doing what they need to do. We got some young guys coming up at safeties and cornerback and things like that, And man, it's just exciting. Do you think Burks? Let's just ask this. I know we're talking about Mizzou, and this is going to throw us off on another damn tangent, but I don't care, man. Do you think Burks will stay one more year with us, or you think he's out? You think he's gone?
I mean, I couldn't see him staying. I just can't. I don't know. I mean, as long as the projections and what they're kind of saying, as long as he's first round talent, is going to get drafted in the first round. I don't see, unless somebody. I wish there was a way with the new NIL stuff. Could everybody in Arkansas, Razorback fans, all say, "Hey, company, Slim Chickens, I promise." Just make a promise. I'll buy $10. I'll go to Slim Chickens once every week if you can sign Treylon Burks to a couple $1 million, deal, just to stave off, just him just playing one more year or something like that. Where it's just like, because that's because he's going to be a first round talent. It's going to be big. I mean, if he's like third round or something like that, he needs to come back and he can prove himself. But seeing what he's done, like especially against Bama, I just don't see him. Especially how he's banged up earlier in the first couple of games in the year, and he still came on and about to have 1,000 yards, got 10 touchdowns.
I think just one. I mean, if he does come back, like golly, we could really do something special next year.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
He's got to know that, right? And you got to think like,
yes.
Yeah. No, like seriously. And you got to think like, is he that much of an Arkansas fan? There's some players that would be like, I don't care. I don't care. I'll risk it, and I'll play one more year. If we could win a national championship at the University of Arkansas, if that could be my legacy, that's just as important to them as going to the NFL, right? And you got to think like, is he that type of guy? Is he bought in to the Razorbacks that much? Probably not. But hopefully he has. Hopefully he stays around. I mean, I'd love it. I just think it would.
Yeah. What if he wants to? Well, we can close this out. We can close this out with Mizzou and then a bowl win and get to 9 games. But what if he has a goal in mind? Hey, let's see what we can do next year. Like, I have a really good connection with KJ. We know how good the running game's going to be. The offensive line, a lot of that's coming back. Dalton Wagner, who's a senior, said he's going to after a COVID year and come back. We're going to be better. It's going to be the third year of the program. Let's try to see what we can do next year. Like this, we got a really good schedule that tough as always, but really good favorable schedule. Bama and LSU at home, Ole Miss at home. Like a decent non-conference schedule, but winnable games. Just on pace to have a really good year. Does he want to come back and have that Heisman Trophy campaign? Him and KJ just hook up for yards upon yards and touchdowns upon touchdowns. And he's a Warren kid, and he played on the 2-10 season. He played on the 3-7 season. This year's good, but does he want to play for some of those other Warren guys like Jarius Wright, and Greg Childs, those guys, like they got to go play on Sugar Bowl team. Mm-hmm. Does he want to be part of that and leave one more lasting legacy as a Razorback?
Yeah, and that's exactly the question you got to ask. Does he want to do that? Well, I mean, when you look at Mizzou, I mean, I'm just looking at their offensive line. You got this Cook and D'Angelo and Powell and White, and Lawrence, and they're all pretty, undersized guys. They're not like they're not monsters out there on the line or anything. So they are. I would say, your average offensive lineman. You're not getting, monsters like you did with LSU and like you did with Bama, like you did with Georgia, So it's definitely going to be a line that I feel like our defensive front can take advantage of. And like we've seen with some of the other teams that we've played that have similar size, such as Ole Miss.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're just monsters on there. I feel like anytime you've kind of foreshadowed that or, kind of predicted that, it's come true. We kind of see maybe our defense, maybe, one day less of rest, but I know this late in the year, practice was probably pretty light this year in that defense, and maybe we dial up some blitzes, and really with that, to kind of help that 3-man front and really get after them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good call. And so you calling for a couple sacks this week and really pressuring and.
Yeah, I would think that we would, bring some blitz, that we'll have a couple sacks. We'll have a couple sacks without blitzes, and we'll be able to play a lot more comfortably this year, or this game, like we have, previous games going up against, similar size offensive linemen. But they do have, the thing they do have is, they do have, a little experience among them. So, they even though they're not like an oversized line, they are experienced. And then you got your receivers with Chisholm, Parker, and Dove. Those guys are, your main guys out there running around, and they can get over the top on you if you let them, especially Chisholm and Parker. But I don't think it'll be anything like we saw with Alabama. I think our cornerbacks can take them one-on-one for the most part, and then with a little bit of safety help, I don't see our safeties getting burned against these guys. I really don't.
Yeah, you look at, Chisholm with the 410 yards, a couple touchdowns. Man, how's their leading receiver, Beatty, with 4 touchdowns? And last year Chisholm has 113 yards. Also got the Bannister, or Parker had a catch for Bannister, slot receiver. He has not had a great year this year. 160 yards. Fayetteville kid. But it seems like he's always had, a couple years ago, had just killed us. Only has 160 yards on the year, had 6 catches, 60 yards. Also, let me go back real quick to the offensive line.
Yes.
You're talking about with the experience of it. Sacks allowed 1.4, third in the SEC, 20th in the nation. So that experience may not be the biggest one, but they've done fairly well as far as that category. It doesn't mean anything, kind of some of the teams they've played in the East, but quick note on that.
Yeah, they have quite an easy schedule, so that's, it's easier to rack up those numbers when your schedule isn't as hard as others. And then, quarterback, they got Robinson out there, and he seems to be, throwing the ball the most, and I think sometimes they run in Bazinski or whatever his name is, also, so.
Yeah, let's see. Basilak's 236 or 350. 10 interceptions this year, so he will get a little wild. So 16 touchdowns, 16 to 10 interception ratio. So he likes to sling it, but he can get a little wild. Not, really projected high. I'm sure everybody had him in the media ahead of KJ Jefferson, and that's definitely not the case. As you look at KJ Jefferson's touchdown to interception line is 20 to 3.
Exactly.
So KJ just doesn't really throw interceptable passes. He's just been really solid. And,
he really is.
Basilak will be more wild with it, and that's kind of, maybe we can get more turnovers.
And think of what you really have to look out for on this team is Batty, that running back they have. You have to be aware of where he is on the field because he can hurt you. He is the biggest threat that they have. And so we really want to make sure we neutralize him. I don't know. You might even want to put a spy on him.
Yeah, one of the finals for the Doak Walker Award, you were telling me earlier about where it was Missouri, like running back with 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. But
yeah,
he's got 1,385 rushing this year, 6.1 yards a carry this year, 13 touchdowns, and then another 353 leading catches with 53 catches. So that's what they're going to check down and look for those a lot to Beatty. Get a lot of touches for 4 touchdowns too. So like you're talking about a spy, you have to know where Beatty's at ultimately.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of him. And then their defensive team isn't, they're not that good defensively. They got a small defensive line. Linebackers are, average size, and then you got small corners, so you can actually take advantage of their corners and safeties with our tall receivers. And we saw how we have been able to do that and been able to capitalize on it this year. I know years past we've talked about that, been able to capitalize, but this whole year we've seen capitalization on that, been able to throw back shoulder passes or be able to throw the ball up and just letting the receiver go up and get it. And we've been doing that. So I say we're probably going to see some big plays. I bet we burn them. I feel like we got more speed than they have on their defense. So I think, we burn them a couple times. You see some big plays downfield. I think we run the ball on them very easily, though. And I think, that's going to allow us to burn them, too. It's going to allow us to throw those big passes, take advantage of them running the ball, on that defensive line.
Yeah, you look at that, what you're talking about. I mean, Treylon, of course, 6'3". He's catching, he's catching balls over in double coverage against Alabama. Mm-hmm. Warren Thompson has been really playing well at 6'3", his frame. Trey Knox, who's been coming along these last couple of weeks, big catch. Every time he catches, it seems like it's for a first down or late in the game. He's 6'5". So matching up like that, I feel like the receivers those guys are going to have a big day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're talking about the defense. This is a stat I just noticed. This is big. Our red zone offense, we score score a touchdown 90% of the time. Second in the SEC, 21st in the nation. Their red zone defense gets scored on 93.6% of the time. Last in the SEC, 125th in the nation, which is pretty close to being last in college football. My goodness, we get down the red zone. We're scoring on them. That is bad. That's bad.
That's awesome.
No, you're right.
That is bad, though. That is bad. It's bad news for them, man. Good Lord, I wouldn't want to be going in with that.
Woo! Man. That's exciting, is what that is.
How long are they going to keep this drunk guy around, or is that his name?
Drinkwitz. I don't know. Look, man, I know he's from the state of Arkansas, but he's just a goober. He talks shit about us all the time. He's got these really stupid videos coming out. I don't know. I don't know. I guess they beat us last year. Good for you. We blew that game, all right? Odom blew that game. Better not happen again, Odom. If we lose in Missouri,
blows this game, dude, I can't.
If we give up 50 points in Missouri and lose again, Odom is gone. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Let him go somewhere else. Fire his ass. Right on the spot. Don't let him coach the bowl game. There's no reason to give up.
I understand that first year being sentimental, going back home, hanging out with your AD, shaking his hand and stuff before the game.
That was the 90s, Odom, you played. Long time ago.
Good Lord. You gotta let it go. Let it go.
You ain't gonna get another head coach an opportunity if you give up 50 points to this Missouri team.
Ooh.
Shut him out. What if you shut him out, though?
What if you were coaching? What if you were at the University of Missouri coaching, and you were playing University of Arkansas? Would you really give it everything you had? Even if you told everybody you were, and you really told yourself you were going to do it, and you were like, I'm really going to go out there and I'm going to beat the hell out of Arkansas this year. It don't even feel right saying it, does it? It don't even feel right like thinking it. And that's kind of the situation you have with that. Like, I just hope that there's a contingency in place with Pittman, and if things are starting to get out of hand, maybe we can let somebody else call a few defensive plays and see how it goes.
You're right.
I know it's a hell of a thing to say, but what if it's unintentional? Like, what if it's unintentional? I still don't understand why we didn't win that game last year. I guess we got to let it go.
I didn't even. I was thinking it was back and forth, but that pisses me off knowing we gave up 27 points in the fourth quarter.
back and forth till we laid it down. All right. I guess we need to give predictions.
All right. I'm ready, man. I'm going to give mine. I feel pretty strongly about this. Arkansas, 48. Missouri, 20.
I think that we are a lot better team than Missouri this year. You look at all their past games. I guess that's the only thing we didn't do is go through their games. But you look at all their past games and who they've played. And they've had a light schedule. They've played Florida at their worst time. And, they've just barely made a bowl game. They know they're going. I think they're probably going to lay down in this game and enjoy their bowl game at the Music City Bowl. That's going to be fine with them. I say Arkansas 48, Mizzou 3.
Ooh, I like it.
I think our defense shows up to this game and shows out, especially after having the confidence they have after coming off of Alabama, knowing how much better they know they are than this team. I think we're upset and pissed off. We know we're a great football team, and we're going to have to go take out some frustration on somebody.
Yep.
And Mizzou just happens to be the team in the way right now, and they don't have the defense to stop us from taking out that frustration. And I'm not sure. I think you put a spy on that running back, I'm not sure that they can move the ball down the field on a set well. Really? If you can contain that running back they got, I'm not sure. What are they going to do? Throw it up? And then they got, average receivers with an average quarterback slinging the ball around. You're going to get interceptions and all kinds of stuff then.
That's what force them to try to throw it all over the field. What they want to do is run it. What they want to do is go with it. Yeah.
Make them throw the ball. Make them make mistakes. Don't let them run it. And we've proven we can do that. We've done that to other teams this year. We've proven we can do it. I think it's an easy win.
Yeah, I feel like we've made. I feel like out of either, if you want to say what's been better for us, the rush defense or the pass defense, rush defense for sure. I felt like we've had a lot better. We haven't really been a game where we've just, besides Georgia, where we've just gotten ran all over. Like we couldn't just stop. We just couldn't stop a running game. It felt like a lot of times, maybe against Bama. I felt like we had a pretty good hole. Like we made their running everything they got. But the passing, 500-something yards, I still can't believe kind of looking at it. Because it seemed like maybe we were just matching them and kind of more of a shootout. But it's felt like a lot of times, like LSU, they didn't really just run a whole bunch on us and things. And like teams like that, Auburn had to pass on us, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, Mississippi State doesn't even run.
Yeah.
It feels like we can, with our linebackers, with that crew of Poole and Morgan and Henry, those seniors guys, that we can really stop the run, and then we're going to force them to pass. What do you think? Plus or minus, Chad, 3 turnovers. Do you think we get 3 turnovers in this game?
I think we'll get 3. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty fair.
I think we can get 3. I think we could get a fumble or 2. Maybe special teams make something happen. We've seen that a lot this year. Definitely maybe get a pick. It'd be nice to get a pick 6. We haven't seen one of those yet this year.
Have we had any defensive touchdowns this year?
I don't think so. Did we have a scoop? I think we might have had a scoop and score.
Maybe so. Just feels like we've been waiting for one all year. It feels like last year, I feel like the defense scored a little bit. And another factor we've been talking about this all year. Pittman's 10-11. He's got a shot to go 500 this game and then win a bowl game and be above 500 and never look back the rest of his career. Never look back. after these next 2 games, go in the off season with a winning record. Take that momentum.
So all right. So he's 10-11 now.
Yep.
If he wins this game, it'll be 11-11. He'll be 500, right?
Yep.
So that'll be going into the bowl game, being able to go above 500. Let's talk bowl game real quick. Before we've looked at all the projections and stuff, and we'll do more of a bowl game thing after this game is over. Really get into it, but just real quick. Here's my rundown. This is what I think, and I've been saying this all year, and I still think we win this game. I think you're looking at going to the Outback Bowl. I think that we'd be a good story for that. We're a team that travels. Everybody knows we're travels, and they're going to want teams that travel in the Outback Bowl. So I think you got a good possibility to go to the Outback Bowl. Then you got the Orange Bowl. We got a possibility to go in there. Music City Bowl. Everybody's been talking about that, and I guess the Gator Bowl. I think that's been mentioned a lot, but I think that's the 4 bowl games that you're looking at. If you win this game, and a lot of that depends on is Ole Miss going to go to the Sugar Bowl? Well, it looks like it, right? Looks like that's where they're going, and so that would be okay. Is A&M or Arkansas going to go down to the Outback Bowl? And I think you see A&M lose to LSU. LSU will be bowl eligible if they beat A&M. They got a pretty darn good team, and I don't think A&M's going to win that game. And I think that's the reason we're going to go to the Outback Bowl. But if the A&M wins that LSU game and we win, then we're probably looking at one of the other Florida bowls. We're probably looking at the Gator Bowl or the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think you're dead on with. I think there's a lot of projections. Look like the projections are the Outback, Gator Bowl, Capital One, and then the Texas Bowl in Houston, Texas, which I just don't want. That's just we went there a couple years ago, and those projections Arkansas, Kansas State, Arkansas, Iowa, just not to me. Outback Bowl, Arkansas, Iowa. Let's kick a Big Ten team's ass. Let's kick Arkansas, Penn State's another one. Let's kick their ass. Gator Bowl against Wake Forest or Florida State. I'll get a win against them. You know what I mean? There's some other ones sprinkled. I don't know. One of these Bleacher Reports has this UCF, Arkansas, Birmingham Bowl. We're not going. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I guess if we're 7-5, we lose to Mizzou. Maybe we do deserve it. I'll be honest. Maybe we deserve the game.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different story. That or the Liberty Bowl or something like that.
And look at this. If LSU beats Texas A&M, every team in the SEC except for Vanderbilt is going to be bowl eligible.
As long as Florida beats Florida State.
If Florida beats Florida State, which I think they probably will. I think they probably will.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with. I know we'll get to our picks here in this show, but I agree with you. I think LSU Coach O's last game. I think they're going to play for him and play up at home. I think they're going to beat A&M. So
and will it be his last game? Will it be? Will he coach them? He'll probably coach.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. If they lose, it's going to be his last game. But sure. They're playing like it is because if they don't,
that's a good point. They got something to play for, and that's the thing. It's A&M really just going out there for another win. They don't really have anything to play for, and they haven't had a tremendously great year, honestly. So
expectations were there after last year going, 9-1 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So expectations didn't. They're paying Jimbo $10 million a year, not 8-3 or whatever. No.
So, that's what I think as far as bowl games go. I think we're all both on the same page there. So we'll see. Florida State, Arkansas, man, That'd be an okay bowl game, but I just want to play them when they're better, right? I want to play a good Florida State team, not a.
I feel like we'd be more matched up with like Clemson, like a 9-3 Clemson team. You know what I mean? Like 8-4 ACC team versus a 6-6 ACC team does not make any sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that's for Kentucky, like Kentucky, Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that, or Mississippi State, Florida State. That's a good matchup. But I just don't see us like I agree with like us playing another 9-3 8-win team. Like I don't see us like matched up with 6-6.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. All right, well, I guess we should move on into basketball. What a great couple of basketball games we had, playing in the Hall of Fame Classic and winning that championship. So, going and playing Kansas State, winning that game, which was, the score was similar, honestly, but I just felt like that was an easier game. And then you got the Cincinnati game, and what a dang nail-biter that was. I just felt like the entire time, and I don't know if it was because I was playing for the little trophy or what it was, but it was just, the back and forth, the 1 point game, constantly. What a good game that was, though. Out of the two games, I thought the Cincinnati game was the better game. And everybody, all the media guys and everything, they were still talking up Cincinnati, even though we're beating them pretty handily. They were all like, Cincinnati needs to be in the top 25 and this, that, and other, and they're not. They should at least be at 25 and so on and so forth. They were good. They played a dang good game, and I hope they are top 25 material. I hope that is the type of game that we won. And we said it. We said it back with these other games back here. And Muss, you're such a... I love you, but I hate you at the same time. We said it back these other games. Like, they better get it damn figured out, or we're not going to win this Kansas City-Cincinnati situation. And then we go in there and we win the damn thing because they get it all figured out and they do what they got to do. And it's not the easiest win, right? And now we get some games. We get to play Penn, and then we get to tune up and play some good, some easier tune-up games down the road before we go into that Oklahoma game. And I just think that, Muss just pulls it out of his, he just pulls it out, man. He just pulls it out. He's just one of these coaches that wins games. When you're on the fence and you're like, man, I don't know if he's going to win this one. And he still goes out there and wins them. And he does it without wearing a suit the whole time. No tie. Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, man.
And then he supports every other sport.
Yeah.
He supports every other sport way more than every other sport supports basketball, too. And I got to say that, I'd like to see Pittman courtside.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these big games.
After football season, he'll be attending some games, but nothing like Pitt. Musselman's really good. Like, he does not have to do that. He doesn't have to, go to, all these sports and really get in there. Of course, he's not like a Razorback who played there or anything, like grew up, but he's he goes to all the games. Like, he was there at Alabama this week.
Yeah.
And that's after having practice on Saturday. Right, you know what I mean? And
yep. No, I agree. He supports that.
As a Razorback coach, hey, I'm going to support you guys because I want everybody, and it really, really helps. And it's just hard not to like him. And when he wins too, of course that helps. When he goes to Elite Eight, you really see what he's doing. But yeah, the Kansas State and Cincinnati game.
Well, Kansas State game. First off, we couldn't hit a damn free throw. Or not a 3-point shot for anything that game. We everything we threw up was we.
That happened in Cincinnati too. Like we hit even just a normal average amount of 3-pointers, and we're we're winning these things by 20. We shot terribly, but they really didn't. But the free throws were great both games. We really took it inside.
Mm-hmm.
You got to shoot some threes to keep them honest. But both these games, Kansas State shoot 27 out of 34, 80% pretty much on free throws. Like getting to the line, 34 chances is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, 32 chances, tripling what Cincinnati did to the line. So we're playing really good defense without fouling, but also getting to the line and hitting them. And the three-pointer would just, like, if we could just shoot just a little better outside the arc, just to kind of keep the defense more honest. I mean, we're going to win. We call this, though, Chad. It's not like...
Every time Vanover jacks up a shot, I'm just like, why did you do that? You don't usually make them. Just take it to the damn hoop. Just drive it down to the hoop. He does so much better when he drives it in.
Yeah, he came in here hitting, like, he's gotten one this year. I don't think he's maybe hit one this year, because last year he had a little better, and even in California before he came here was decent. He knows that he's just not a big guy that can shoot the three.
But he tries.
Well, he
tries all the time.
Yeah, he's wide open. It's like, I get it, man. Got to work the offense. Just pass it. And every time, because, a lot of times it'll be like, he'll wait. He won't do it just his first shot of the game or two.
Yeah, no.
He'll wait till he hits, like, gets a dunk, gets his confidence up. Do it. Here we go. Damn gummit. I thought it was gonna be a good shot. Because that'd be a weapon. Because he's 8 for 9 in that Kansas State game in free throws. Like, that was the big part of that.
Well, free throws is what won that Kansas State game, right? Like us being 80% free throws. 36% in the paint, right? Like that's what won us the game. Honestly, is shooting free throws as well as we did, and taking advantage of every foul opportunity that we had.
Yeah, we caught it last week. Our predictions last week were 83-76, 78-69. Like, we called a close game. Like, we knew it was going to be in that kind of range of grinded out against Kansas State.
Yeah.
Like you alluded to earlier, like some of these games earlier, getting the efforts, the way we played against Northern Iowa and Gardner Webb, we're going to do it. And you could tell from the get-go, though, like the intensity was there against Kansas State. The intensity just from the get-go of the rotations on defense and 3-point defense on them was, and they were 3 out of 20. They came in as a pretty good 3 team, and they were 3 out of 20.
Mm-hmm.
So we were really, matched them on rebounds. We forced 15 turnovers.
Well, they got us on turnovers, right? So it was like 13 to 17 the turnovers. It was 30 to 34 in the paint. Then you look at, second chances where you got 16 of their 8, right? And the fast breaks were at like 9 and 8. Like, you look at it on paper and it should have been a closer game than it actually was, it seems like to me.
Yeah, we were up 18 at half.
Yeah.
Like, it was looking at that, like, it's no reason, like, kind of those final stats, like, no reason, or no surprise that it was like that. In the first half, we've only got 3 turnovers to their 8. Like, they're just turning. We're forced a lot. We're playing our fast break points are 7 to their 2.
Uh-huh.
We're outscoring them in the paint. Second chance points. That's how come we got 18. And that's shooting 3 out of 15 from 3 points. We were still shooting too many of them, half our shots, basically. But we were 15 out of 17.
And I remember at one point in the game asking you, like, are they playing a zone? It was like almost a weird hybrid type defense that we were playing.
Yeah, they were playing kind of a junky kind of zone, which works. I would too. I would pack it because we're really good inside. Like you saw, like Mude and Devontae's really good, and Vanover's. Like some of these guys are like we can hit like 8 foot, 10 foot, 15 foot shots inside the 3-point.
Yeah.
So they're trying to pack it in because they know we can't shoot the damn ball. We haven't proven it all year that we can shoot it from deep. So they really started to realize, hey, maybe we can pack it in, pack that defense in on that zone and force them to. And that's kind of why we were the offense just wasn't as smooth in that second half.
Mm-hmm.
But we still we just grinded it out. We still made plays when we needed to. Note's got to be better. That's a lot of shots for him. 4 out of 17, 2 out of 10 from 3-point. Like if you're going to take 10 3-pointers, you got to make 5 of them. You know what I mean? You can't do that. Only 2 free throws. Just not his best game. He had 5 assists and 3 steals. And had but then he had also 5 turnovers. So, and he's a guy that's going to play, 37 minutes. He's got to be better at that.
And I do want to.
Good win.
And I do want to say this Kansas State game was a slower game too. Yeah. We were not moving up and down the court like we normally do, like we're used to seeing Arkansas do. And we had said this, or at least I had said this, in a few of the other games prior to this, is that we're not moving the ball very fast. We're moving it, kind of slow for an Arkansas team. Then we go into the next game, and it's like a polar opposite, right? We're moving up and down the court, and we look like Arkansas, right? We're playing a very fast game in that in the next game, right? In the Cincinnati game. So
yeah, against Cincinnati, especially that second half, we scored 47 points in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost hitting 50, which you get to 100 that way. Just really clicking. We're down by 4, and we come out you didn't feel at halftime like, wow, we're going to lose this game. Cincinnati's tough though. They proved it. They beat I said it last week. I play Illinois. Illinois was getting player Kofi Coburn, and they beat Illinois by 20 points, the number 14 in the nation. So you knew you were going to get a tough effort. Their coach is a really young guy, but he's been around. He played at North Carolina, really successful at his gig before that. He's really up and comer, and he had those guys.
Didn't he spend some time with Musselman somewhere or something? Like I thought I saw something.
He might have. Those damn coaches, they move around, but so I don't.
I just thought I heard something where they worked together or something, but maybe I didn't catch it.
No, I could see that. And this is another one where just free throws were big. We outscored them in the paint. We outscored them second chance points. Audice Tony was just huge, man. It just kept getting. He was 6 out of 9 from the floor, 7 of 8 from free throws, 9 rebounds, 3 of those offense. And at the end of the game, we were charges, rebound, one possession. We had 2 or 3 minute or 2 left. Like we were like it looked like we could lose at the end, and we just kept. Oh, yeah. We're just making big play after big play.
Yeah, and when it came to a point where it was like, oh, we got this in hand too. Like we're going to win this game. Like at the very last 3 minutes, you're like, Arkansas is going to win this game. We got it under control. We scored enough points. They're not going to be able to beat us. But you're right. There were times where it was just back and forth. Like, can we win this game? But it never felt like, oh my God, can we win this game? Do we have the team to win this? Are we going to be able to pull this out? It just felt like, oh, they caught up. Oh, they went up on us. We got to fix that. It just always felt like something that we could overcome. Like every time, it felt like something that we were going to overcome. I don't know how to explain that feeling and whatnot, but it just wasn't a scary feeling. Like sometimes in basketball, when they go up on you, it's like, oh God, I don't know if we're going to be able to come back and score more than them. But in this game, it felt like, okay, well, we just got to do a little bit more, and we got it in us to do. You see the 3-pointers and the field goals, and that's what's really winning this game for you, right? You're winning it in the paint. You're winning with 3-point shots, and free throws are good. You do well in free throws, but it's not winning the game because you didn't take as many as you did the last game. You're not dependent upon that, right? Upon being 85% on the free throws, but you're only shooting 13, right? So you're not as dependent as you were the last game. Whereas really, the 33% from 3-point range and the being down in the paint, hitting 40% in the paint, that's really what's winning the game for you, in my opinion.
We shot 32 24 out of 32, 75%. That's a good bit.
Sorry, I was talking about the first period. Sorry, my bad.
Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah, we kind of got.
I was talking about up till half. I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, the free throws only took 9. Didn't hit one 3-pointer. Just felt like even 2 out of 10 is terrible, but we would have been up by 2 if we just would have hit 2 of them. Kind of battle even against a good Cincinnati team, shooting 29%, only down 4 at the half. They get more points off turnovers. We don't have very many second chance points. Fast breaks really aren't there. Second half's really, like you were saying, we're down kind of a slow start to the first half or second half.
And second half is when you really start seeing the free throws are starting to like that. That's whenever like we become like more dependent upon free throws, right? And that's whenever like the free throws are starting to like turn it back around and win the game for you, right? And in the paint, you're doing well. Your 3-point shots, you're doing well, and your free throws, you're doing exceptionally well. So,
yeah, I mean, in this one, second half, 7 ties, 11 lead changes. So a really good game, just back and forth. We had an 8-0 run, like we had kind of a 6. We had an 8-0 run. We took a 51-45 point lead. Really kind of felt comfortable there, and we still went back and forth. And then this second straight, Kansas State too, and then the Cincinnati. Like we had free throws at the end. Like we didn't blow it mid free throw. Like we iced the game with free throws, and that's going to come into hand. So many games this year. Like this 3, I mean, helps. We're 5-0, and again, you alluded to this, sir. I know we'll get into this. Just kind of looking like we earned these 2 wins, like big wins against good opponents, and then like we can enjoy these next couple games hopefully against Penn and UCA, Charlotte. We have to play Oklahoma, but we earned some. We got some big wins, and really down the stretch, just making big plays.
Well, fighting for the ball is what the difference is, right? Yeah. Like getting up, getting the rebounds, getting second chance shots, things like that. Like that's really what is the difference. Is we had more fight in us than they had in them, and that's really like what I felt like was the difference in the game. Was what we just wanted it more than they did.
Yeah, that's what I'll tease Tony. I mean, those just I'm sorry, I spoke wrong. 6 offensive rebounds, not just 3. 6 offensive rebounds, and he's only 6'7", and he's battling down, but he just couldn't. I mean, he wanted it more, and it just showed. It felt like the announcer said it, and this was so true. It felt like a March game. Like it did not have a November feel to it. Like it felt like it was like the intensity was there. I was like, it ain't college basketball. It's like a lot of people are like, oh, it's no point in watching the March. Like not with this, not with these big games like this. This matters. Like this is going to matter in March. We're trying to get a number 1 seed, number 2 seed, number 3 seed in there, which helps. It helped us last year. You want the highest seed when you want your net ranking, whatever. When you want it to be the highest, like this is a game that matters. This is got to be down in these battles like that's toughing it out.
And how about Likes coming in? Good Lord, what a player he is, right? And he's been battling last couple of games for us, and just the way he plays, the way he's aggressive and gets down there. Like there's times it's like, oh, they hit a 3, the Likes go down and hit a 3, and then they. We take it to the basket and dunk it. Likes to take it to the basket and dunk it. It was just like, I'm not just going to let you come out here and score on us without scoring on you back.
You're right. Like he not provide that spark to get back at you and just erase like what you did, or
yeah, exactly.
Like okay, well that was just an even kind of thing. Not gonna it's Likes ain't gonna let you get down on 8-0 or let the other team go on an 8-0. He's gonna come down there and like that. He iced the game. 8 out of 10 free throws in this one. He did even better, the same or better against Kansas State. Like he's the guy you throw it to. They're gonna have to foul you, and he's gonna make the free throw. So I mean, he had hit like 10, or I think maybe he hit all 10 against Kansas State, but he had like just a stretch of not missing, and just that's so big. Like,
yeah, exactly. And you got Note out there; he's just doing his thing like he always does. I was, Monday, I guess how you say it, Monday. I think he could steal a little bit more playing time. I felt like I'd like to get him a little bit more time and get Connor out a little bit more, I guess. Vanover out a little bit more. Just switch them up. Not totally switch the roles, but just, give them a little bit more time. I like Vanover. He's fun to watch, but at the same time, my goodness, man. Like, why are you always out on the damn perimeter? Always on the perimeter, right? You're 40 feet tall.
Man, I feel like he's been better at that this year than he was last year. I feel like he's been playing more at that. He only played 60 minutes of that. Well, Kansas State, I felt like when we had the big league, Vanover was in the lineup, him playing together. They took him out the rest of the second half against Kansas State. Kansas State started taking it inside and not layups. Yeah, Vanover's got to cut the 3-point shit out.
Yeah.
But Amude, but he kind of plays a little different. Like, he could be in that lineup with Vanover and Jalen. You got to have Note and combined 7 out of 29 in this. And they play good enough. They're really good defenders, but 7 out of 29 on offense. You got a 2 out of 9 combined for 3-point land. Like, you got to be better on offense for us to. Like, we should be scoring 90 with the lineup every night. And then Tony giving you those. Like, he's been one of the MVPs this year. So all he does is shoot. Like, he don't ever take jack up threes.
No.
All he does is get hustle baskets and get to the line. Like, every time we needed something like Cincinnati, we get on a little 4-point run or something, Tony would get in and bang. But yeah, Mude only 8 points. That's really surprising. Or 8 minutes, I'm sorry. Only 8 minutes in that game was really surprising. Because you saw some things that Kansas State, he was scoring different ways.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Tony's the guy. He obviously got Note is looking good, but Tony's really solidifying his spot as being as being the guard, right? As being the point guard. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into that wrong, but that's just kind of how I don't know. He just seems like taking over when he gets out on the field. Or, not on the field, but out on the court. He just seems to be, taking over, taking it, I don't know. Everybody seems to look to him, right? It's kind of surprising. You think it'd be Note, honestly.
Yeah, Note does look for himself quite a bit. But we don't have just a true pass first point guard, but the way this team's kind of figured, it's kind of a lot of different pieces. I'm excited to see us kind of go along.
It's going to be interesting to see, how we start to gel together towards the end of the year. Because, we saw this last year, and we had, so many new guys and so on and so forth. And then you saw us, get better throughout the middle of the year. And then by the end of the year, we were playing, really well. And then we go into the tournament, we're playing, extremely well. And we're having a great year. We're already playing as well as we did last year in the tournament. And we haven't come together yet. So it's going to be amazing to see, 5 games from now, what we're doing, and then 10 games from that. I think, that's what you got to do, and you got to make sure that the teams are able to just, get out there and play and have that time to mesh and come together as a team, because the more they do that, the better they are, and that's just kind of how basketball works this go around. The way that we're seeing basketball at this time of the year is it's a situation where you have guys that haven't necessarily played together a lot, and then they move into the end of the year, and they just they play better with each other as they move in the year. And you see that with Kentucky a lot more, and you've seen that in the past with teams like that, and you haven't seen it as much with Arkansas. But now you're starting to see us pull those types of recruiting classes where you're seeing it. Think about this: we have the number 1 recruiting class coming in next year. The best recruiting class we've ever had at the University of Arkansas coming in next year. And we have a really good possibility this year, the way we played this last tournament, of being able to be, I would say, an Elite 8 team. Right? Yeah. A little bit better than we did last year. Go to the Elite 8. And I mean, that's a big deal because then you have the best recruiting class ever coming in the next year. I mean, that's a championship. That's a championship lineup right there.
Yeah, once you talk about going to the Elite Eight last year, getting these really good. I mean, some key. We lost some pieces, but we reloaded with some of these like big time transfers and some key pieces off the team last year, like Jay Williams, Note Davis. And then, like you're talking about, our best recruiting class ever in basketball. This is championship aspirations. There's no doubt every year that it's SEC championship, and then obviously the main goal. And it's possible. It's not we're just trying to get in the tournament. Like, this is really we've been building towards, and we're kind of seeing that. We're really seeing that. And like you were talking about, just now the team's kind of meshing. They figured out a way to mesh in Kansas City. A lot of new pieces. Kansas State and Cincinnati didn't, as we have. So this is just going to get better. They haven't reached their potential. Like, this team's just going to get better.
So who do we play before the next podcast?
All right. So we got 2 games. So we got the Penn Quakers this Sunday, and then we got UCA Central Arkansas Purple Bears this next Wednesday night. So we got 2 games before our next podcast next Thursday.
Okay. And then I mean, Penn, like that's not like we're not talking Penn State or anything like that. We're talking
University of Pennsylvania, Ivy League.
Okay. So,
if you want me to, let me run down the schedule. Open the season at number 20 Florida State, lost 70-105. At George Mason, lost 66-87. Then they went at Bucknell and won a road game 73-68. Then beat Lafayette 85-57. Next game, lose to Utah State 2 overtimes, and then lose to Davidson 60-72, and then beat Old Dominion 61-76 for a 3-5 run.
So having their best year. Not having their best year.
No, but they have played a bunch of road games. Definitely not just a team that we shouldn't beat by a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
But better than UCA. We can talk about that after this. It's a team we should handle. I don't know a lot about them. I tried to watch. So many college basketball games. Well, maybe I didn't watch any part of Penn.
I did not see any Penn games. I didn't see the UCA game either.
They average 70 points a game. They give up 77. Pretty good 3-point shooting team, 37%. They're 36. That's a lot of what they do. Looks like free throws 73%. The rebounding, they're minus 2 rebounds a game, so they give up 2 more. Turnovers, they turn the ball over 15 a game, so look for us to really pressure them and get that. That's really, kind of just looking real quick. It's hard to kind of really know about the Penn Quakers, and I promise I'll be out more, more SEC play when I'm able to watch.
Well, I guess we should throw out a couple of predictions on that, huh?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You go first.
I would say Arkansas 102, Penn 68.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. I'll go Arkansas 98, Penn 63. I think we're both kind of along the same line. Take that down. All right, let's see. So UCA is 1-4. Opened the season up at St. Louis, losing 61-96. At Butler, lost 53-85. At Baylor, lost 47-92, and then beat Oral Roberts 70-67, and then this past Wednesday tonight. Okay, lost tonight 63-90 to New Orleans. So just getting blown out at every point besides that win against Oral Roberts at home.
Okay.
So, wow, they have not had a great game. Really short lineup. Looks like Darius Hall. He was a former back, one big scorer, 6'6" forward. He played here. Junior. He's 6'7" from Little Rock. Played here his freshman year. Transferred to Paul for whatever reason for 2 years, and now he's back at UCA. And then they've got a couple more. Cameron Hunter from Bryant, Colin Cooper from Fayetteville. Guys are okay, just short 6 foot, 6'2" guards. And then Jackson Baker and Jared Cheatham kind of rounds up the kind of starting lineup. But I mean, obviously, you look at the score, not a team that you just could be scared of. And I haven't, obviously, like you, who would watch UCA. So I just feel pretty confident about going 2-0 before our next podcast.
Normally, I'll flip UCA on just because I had a lot of family members and stuff that's went to UCA, and it's a big part of our history.
Yeah.
So I like to hopefully they're going to do a little better this year, turn it around after this game.
Yeah. I'll go Arkansas 109, UCA 70.
I would say UCA 68, Arkansas 95.
Okay. Yeah, it just seems like UCA's just struggled in recent years. They just have not had a footing. Even Corliss Williamson. That was a surprise. I was really rooting for him. Haven't made an NCAA tournament, I guess they were in the AI. They've kind of moved up in the rankings, though, and just kind of since they've become a Division I basketball school, which is understandable. Just having kind of a tough time really getting their gathering in the Southland Conference, I believe. But I root for them. Hopefully they'll be better besides this game the rest of the year.
Yeah, I hope so. Well,
first game against them. I mean, we never played UCA, so then really cool.
Yeah, that's exciting. I didn't realize it was the first time we've played, so it'll be an exciting game. Well, I guess we look at hockey. We can look at the University of Arkansas and what we've done there, and they got some good updates on their website right now. So that's good for anybody that hasn't been to the website and taken a look or whatnot this year. Want to know a little bit more? You can go there and take a look. But we're going to play that Route 66 showcase against Missouri. We won that last year. Hopefully, we're going to win it again this year. That's coming up. We've won all but 2 games this year. The first game we lost was to a Division I team, so that's to be expected, I guess you should say. And then to Missouri State, we lost the game, and we're going to get a chance to come back and play Missouri State after our next couple of games. But right now, our focus is playing Missouri and winning that Route 66 trophy that they got. And I think that's going to be something fun to turn into and check out. We just see that they just had a heck of a year. They've done good, they've done well all year long, defensively and offensively. And anytime you are doing as well as you are as the University of Arkansas hockey team is, you're having a good year, and we know that, right? So we look and we see that. What was it? I just wanted to mention a couple things here. When we look in here and we see that they played senior captain Zach Wilson, and he's been able to be out there and help out a lot and be kind of the backbone of the team. And be able to, be a big time scorer or whatnot for the team, and everybody's been able to kind of, lean on him. Our goalie has done an awesome job, holding the teams down, keeping the points low this year, and we're just, I think, we're just having a really good year. But defensively, we're doing really well. Like that is like we always do well defensively, but I don't know. Offensively, we're shooting the puck too. We're taking shots and we're making them, and we're winning these games. So, yeah, I don't know. Heck of a team to watch.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 7-2 went 8-0 against November. So this past weekend, they played. I mean, they beat. Let's see, number 11 University of New Mexico. They beat the number 12 team in the nation, Miami of. And just really well. And that's what we're ranked number 8 right in the in those rankings, right behind Notre Dame, Saginaw. So we're kind of climbing up the previous rankings 2 weeks ago, right after Halloween 20. So we've been moving up in the rankings. We've had big wins, like those ranked top were huge. That game against New Mexico. Was really physical and tightly contested, so that was huge to get some of those. And we did kind of a note they make. We did, that's a rivalry. They beat us on our home floor for the first time. First time we lose in a while, but we do have a rematch with them coming out of like you're talking. We got Missouri next weekend. Mm-hmm. Huge right after Thanksgiving, and that's it till take a long Christmas holiday break until January against Dallas Baptist, and then you got Missouri Field. So that's going to be some big, only 3 more matchups: Dallas Baptist, Missouri State, and Kansas, and that's it before the conference playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we switched conferences, so we'd have a chance to play in a national championship game. And you look at this, you're like, yeah, of course, like that was the right thing to do. Like we win almost every game. Like why would you not want to compete for a national championship? And I think it sucks not being SEC, but at the same time, why'd the SEC jump out of the national championship playoffs? But anyway, regardless, it's gonna be good. Like you said, we got the Missouri game, win that like we did last year, take the trophy. You got the Dallas Baptist, you win that one, and then you got Missouri State, the team that's beat you, right? So you at least want to split the series. At least want to split the series in the Missouri State game, and then Kansas. That's going to be another tough game where you want to at least split the series. If you come out with 2 sweeps and 2 splits, I think that's excellent at this point.
Yeah, it is. That's big. I feel like we just kind of we don't have very far to go to get a good seed, and obviously conference and do well there, and then get in the national tournament. The goal is we finished runner-up last year. The goal is the championship. And I think we're kind of on pace. We just kind of got to finish these next 4 series.
Absolutely. So, anyway, support the hockey team if you're not already done so. Make sure you go to a game if you can go to a game whenever we play Dallas Baptist and Springdale. Springfield, Missouri isn't that far. When we play Missouri State, we could use the fans up there because, that's always a tough game. And then the Kansas game in Springdale. So, there's plenty of chances to still go and support the hockey team before we go into the playoffs.
And that goes for me as well. I'd like for the Hog Call Podcast to have a representation. So that goes for me as well.
So anyway, we're looking good. Looking good hockey-wise. Looking good. Everything was. What do you think? You got a prediction for the Missouri games?
Let's see here. Yeah, I got a prediction for the Missouri game. I'll go 5-2, and then I'll go 7-1.
Okay, I'm gonna go 6-3, and then I'm gonna go 8-2.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with those outcomes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. We just beat a team by 17-1. So think about that. Them apples. How would you like to be that team? Get 17 scored on you.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, well, maybe our 8 and 7 predictions aren't really too high for this team.
No, I mean really. I mean we've almost been there, right? We've had one 7-2 game against Iowa State. And then we've had a 6-3 game against Kansas, 9-point game against Kansas. Of course, they scored 6 on us on that, which is quite a bit because usually we're a lot tougher defensively, And then the 17-point game, and of course the 2 16-point games at the beginning of the year. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, we've proven we can score a bunch.
Mm-hmm. And we can hold them. And we can hold another team. I don't think our defense is as good this year as it was last year, but it is good. In the last couple of years, even.
Yeah, it's hard to say right now, but, man, it's hard. I mean, runner-up last year was really... We've proven, I mean, we haven't won 1, 2, 3, 4, 8-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, we had a long one. And that, like you said, one of those losses, D1 Oklahoma. And then the other one was a one goal loss to rivalry, Missouri State. So, looking pretty good.
So what do you think? Do you think we ought to do the predictions? Or do you think we ought to do the fantasy?
Oh, boy. Well.
Your call.
Let's get fantasy. Loss. I'm happy for the teams. I'm right there with you out of it. Let me get here. I just got to go full screen on this. Man, I'm really excited for next year. Next year to have a bigger fantasy league. Dwindling down. One of the next two guys is going to get a free whatever merchandise they want from the Hog Call Podcast score. All right. So last week, dadgummit. All right, we need to filter out. Give me 30 seconds. Let me find this.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to be going on. We'll see. We might have something coming up soon. We might have some big, exciting news from the Hog Call Podcast. We'll be talking about that more to come. So if you're still in the podcast at this point, if you've listened to us and you're still here, you're still hanging in, it's probably Thanksgiving. All right. And you're probably thinking like, what in the hell are these guys talking about? I'm going to say the best thing you can do when you're listening to Hog Call Podcast is grab you another beer, man. Grab you another beer. As your beers become empty, as you're listening to the podcast, go ahead and grab another one.
That's what we'll do. That was a great filler, Chad. So last week in the Hog Call Podcast College Football Fantasy Semifinals, Run Like a Razorback scored a league record 271 fantasy points.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm on the other side, scoring 216, one of the highest of all year. I think he told me that I had actually the second or third highest all year. And I lose 271 at 216. That's college fantasy. Nothing special about it. I thought the week ago, I had my quarterback score 60 points. And I was feeling pretty good. And my Lord. Then I faced the Ohio State quarterback who beat Michigan State 50-something to 7. And then Big Wiener Bandits beats Evie Dobb 191 to 160. So you got to run like a Razorback versus Big Wiener Bandits. Luke versus Matt in the finals weekend. Wow. So,
well, I guess we're fixing to find out who the top hog is.
I'll give Big Wiener Bandits credit. He was talking some shit that he's belonged. But is he going to be talking shit after this week?
Yeah, he does that. He does that.
We'll see if he'll be talking any more after this week. We'll see, though. One more week. A sad inning, but here we go. Not bowl picks. One more week of picks. I've got more than last.
One more week of picks.
Before the Bulls.
Before the Bulls.
You had a better week than me, so you pulled within a game on the season standings. You went a very great 6-5. But I went 5-6.
Damn.
I went under 500. So I'm 95-63 on the year. You're 89-9. I've got. You can make all that.
And you're trying to stop last week too.
Well, I'm an idiot, Chad.
I would not say that. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't say such a thing. Silver bullet.
That's what I had, man.
Are the mountains cold? God, I hope so. Oh, they're blue. Nice and blue.
That's what I had, man. Not bad.
Better than nothing. I'll tell you that.
Actually, my last one, so.
Nice tall boy. It's like, what, 16 ounces there?
Yeah, 16. So, good price on those. If anybody needs one. But it's my last one I got, so I wanted to drink it to finish off this podcast.
I don't blame you. I kind of want one too. I don't know when the last time I had a Coors Light is. But I enjoy a banquet beer. And I'm sure Coors Light is pretty damn decent. So
banquets are better. I can't explain myself. I just saw it as like good price, and I picked them up for those tall boys. Like, damn, those are.
I almost grabbed two 12 packs of Bud Light.
Oh wow!
Last week because I had them on sale at the grocery store. Buy one get one free. But they also had the Land Sharks buy one get one free, so I went with that. But those might as well be. Honestly, Land Shark is your basic Bud Light island style beer, right? So
it sounds better than Land Shark. Or just sounds like more. So, I've got me a pickin' beer. Are you ready for the picks, Chad?
I am ready.
All right. First one on the board this week. Fresno State at San Jose State. That is a Thanksgiving game. We've got 2 Thanksgiving games tomorrow. Fresno State at San Jose kicks it off tomorrow.
You got Starkle there?
That's Starkle.
Let's go. I'm going to go with San Jose State. And I'm going to go with our boy. He ain't had the best year yet either. I'm still going with him.
Yeah, he's had a better year than... They started off good. Remember? Like they had a chance, really good chance to go undefeated, or a really good chance to win the Mountain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did.
I don't know what happened. That's a tough conference. I'm going to go Fresno State. You know, Starkle hadn't thrown 5 interceptions in a game like he did here, but I'll go Fresno. Surely Starkle graduates. He's been in college about 7 years.
He's fixing to tear him up.
All right, here we go. That's a big one. This is a big matchup. Our second game to pick, the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Mississippi State comes in as a 2-point favorite. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm. Mississippi State's going to tear him up. So
you think you're taking the Pirate?
The Pirates, yeah. I think they're gonna go in there and win this one.
Well, I'm gonna go Ole Miss. But you and Vegas have the same thoughts. What am I missing?
I don't think they're going to win, but I went with Mississippi State because I figured you were going to go with Ole Miss. I thought I'd shake it up just a little bit, but I think Lane Kiffin's probably going to win this game. But what if they go in there and beat Ole Miss? You're going to have Florida and LSU kind of eyeing the Pirate a little bit then, aren't you? So it's a big game for him, and he knows it.
Yeah, I could see the Pirate going to Florida or LSU. Nobody feels bad about leaving Starkville. You know what I mean? Them cowbells get tired of those damn things ringing.
Even Mullen left your ass.
Yeah.
And you gave him an extension. And you gave him an extension for 6 wins, and he still left you.
All right, we're gonna give you this. We believe in you. Nope.
All right, let's go. Let me do some serious ones now.
All right, Boise State at San Diego State.
Boise.
Okay. I'll go San Diego State. You got a lot of ground you can make up. We've picked all 3 so far. Kansas State at Texas. Oof, why did I do that?
Kansas State?
Yeah. I'm going to go Kansas State as well.
Poor old Texas. They're not even making a bowl game this year, are they?
No, they're 4-7.
Couldn't make one if they wanted to. Even if they won the last game. How embarrassing. Good Lord. We were all hyped up after that big win for Texas.
Thank goodness we beat them.
Thought we had done something. I'm glad we played them early in the year and people thought they were good.
Yeah. They were top 15 when we played them. Iowa at Nebraska. Nebraska comes in as a 1-point favorite in against the top 16 team.
Nebraska.
Go Big Red.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll go Iowa just to be different. North Carolina at North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Okay.
I don't think the Wolfpack. That's state, right? Wolfpack.
Yeah.
So. I don't think the Wolfpack's going to do it.
I'll go the Wolfpack. Oh!
You're just going to take all those top 25 teams.
That's 6 straight. No, we picked Kansas State to get. I guess so. It's not going to happen. They're not all going to win.
I've picked every underdog this week there is. I got to stop. I don't know what's up my sleeve.
No, Nebraska's actually that's the opposite. Nebraska's actually the favorite.
Are they really?
Boise State's the favorite, and Mississippi State's the favorite.
Wow.
So you're actually
how the hell is Mississippi State the favorite?
At home, I guess.
Over Ole Miss.
That's what I was wondering. I saw that they
was that they were cowbells.
Is somebody injured? I don't know.
Did Lane have a stroke?
I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's go down to the Apple Cup.
What Washington the hell is State at Apple
Cup? Washington State at Washington.
Washington State at Washington. Wow, what a crazy. Let's go with Washington, I guess. I don't know. I don't know anything about either of these teams.
I don't know. I'm going Washington State, but I don't know. That's like a pick'em game. All right, here we go. Let's go to. I don't know if this game has a nickname. Ohio State at Michigan. The big game.
Ohio State.
Okay. I think Ohio State's going to win, but I'm going to pick Michigan because it's funny that we're going to pick every one of different. Ohio State's good, man.
They are.
Missouri. I can't believe they lost to Oregon at home earlier. Wake Forest at Boston College.
Wake Forest.
I'll go Wake too. I won't go against you there. Big matchup in the Sunshine State at Florida.
I think Florida will beat Florida State this year. I think they're both having down years. I think Florida needs a win for a bowl game, so I see them, pulling one out. And it's always back and forth in that dang game. So But they did lose their coach. Yeah. So there's a good possibility they won't win just because they were stupid and fired their coach. But at least wait till the year's over. Like, what did they gain by firing this coach right before his last game? What did they gain by that? Did they get a better coach to coach that last game? No. Like, all you did was made your team nervous.
You feel like the Florida State game would be important enough, like, keep it together like that one more week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you think that game would mean...
Well, now, maybe it's because they can be like, oh, well, we only lost that Florida State game because we fired our coach, so that one doesn't count. Which is kind of a pansy-ass move, if you ask me.
It is. Look, man, this is... I'm going to pick Florida in this one. This is kind of what I kind of go off of. You know, a lot of teams, you could say, like, any kind of victory, even we'd have it. Like, nobody felt sorry for us when we had beat them first, did they?
Mm-mm.
I ain't going to feel sorry for anybody. Like, we beat them, anybody else. I've been through hell on our football team. I don't feel sorry for anybody. I ain't going to apologize for any win.
I'm right there with you.
Like, and Florida shouldn't, or Florida State shouldn't either. If they beat Florida, but I'm still picking the Gators in this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if, the program that has a coach that's trying their damned hardest to win, and get to a bowl game for some kind of moment with Norvell to win. Let's go. It's a weird game, but they're both 5-6. Let's go Maryland at Rutgers.
Let's go Rutgers.
Okay. That's a good pick. At home, Saskatchewan. I'm going to go Maryland.
That's a good
Piscataway. Pick. I just said Saskatchewan. Piscataway. Boy.
Saskatchewan.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Let's go. How about Hawaii at Wyoming? Big game in Mountain
Let's go
West.
with the Warriors. The Rainbow Warriors.
Okay. I'll go Wyoming in this one. This is called the Civil War. Oregon State at Oregon.
Oregon.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Beavers. I'm going to go Oregon State.
Oregon's going to win that game.
They are.
They've had a good year.
We're not going to pick the Iron Bowl unless you want to pick Auburn.
Man, I don't know.
You don't want to pick Auburn, man.
I don't. I do, but I don't. I don't think they can do it this year. No. I'd like to see them do it. I just don't.
It would be funny.
I don't know. It's been a down year.
Yeah.
All right. What was it? Virginia what?
Virginia Tech at Virginia.
Virginia Tech.
Okay. I'll go Virginia. Wisconsin at Minnesota.
Let's go with Wisconsin.
I'll go Wisconsin too. Texas A&M at LSU.
We'll go with LSU on this one.
I'm gonna go with the Bayou Bengals as well. I think they play for Coach O to finish off here. And I wouldn't mind seeing A&M same record we are at 8-4 and us move ahead.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Let's go big matchup. The Bedlam, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State, 10-1 versus 10-1.
Oklahoma.
I'm gonna go Oklahoma too. Don't care for Gundy. Not that I care for Oklahoma, but I think Oklahoma wins. Clemson at South Carolina.
Clemson.
Yep, Clemson. Kentucky at Louisville.
Ooh, let's go Kentucky.
Okay.
They've had a good year. If they're going to beat them any year, it'd be this year.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go Louisville. Yeah, I like this time. This year. I think that may be it. Yeah, I think that's it, Chad. That's a lot of pick 'em. That's a lot of games, though.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of close games, though. As many as we picked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games we picked differently. See,
it'll be interesting to see like what comes of that in the next podcast, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so yeah. So entering that, you're 89, 6 games back with picking 12 different.
Yeah.
So something's gonna happen. You could be ahead by 7, or 6, I guess. By the time this week rolls around, but the bowl games are 40 bowl games, whatever. So it ain't over, but this is big.
I just hope I keep it close. That's all. I hope I don't get blown out. I'll be happy by that. Well, here's the thing. It's Thanksgiving. If you listen to the podcast, you're still in there with us. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you listening. If you haven't done so, do me a favor. Run on over to Apple. Leave us a little comment on Apple. 5-star rating. Just, if you haven't done so and you're on Reddit, go join our Reddit page. All right? If you follow us on Facebook, go do that. If you follow us on Twitter, go do that. Make sure that you're following the Hog Call Podcast. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss out on things. You don't want to miss out like on the fantasy sports and the giveaways and the things that we do. So just make sure that you're following us on all of our platforms. And I just want to say we appreciate everybody, and I'm thankful for every single person that listens to the podcast, and I'm thankful for where you've gotten us from in our infancy to where we are now.
Yeah, man, Chad. Glad you took it there. Thanks for first making it this far in this podcast. I'm interested how long this podcast is. Is really good. Well, I'm thankful for you first, Chad, for doing this podcast with me. This is really fun, as always. Thankful for the fans out there for listening, because if nobody listened, I don't know. We might as well just call each other again. But we do try to improve, like the Reddit, like earlier when a Reddit people are giving us feedback. It's like, hey, we try to improve every time, and we're going to keep on doing that. We're excited for some really positive changes. Hopefully, we'll be able to announce to you in the future. That's really exciting for us and you fans as well. We're excited that we have a ranked football team. I'm thankful for a ranked football team. I'm thankful for a ranked basketball team. I think might be top 10 in basketball. I know we're 13th right now, so that's really exciting. All the other sports, Razorback Land, are doing good. But thank you all for listening, and happy Thanksgiving.
If it done so already, go ahead and grab yourself another beer. It's Thanksgiving. Woo Pig Suey.
And go Hogs.